keep it to a dull roar. A bull roar. This happens a lot to us.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, my computer has every time that it does a reset and has an update, then it changes everything. All right, hang on. There's sound. Just chill out. Just chill out. We'll start over, and then then you can not say no more sound.
Okay, hello. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys, did I do okay?
Hey, guys.
I really did it good before when you couldn't hear me. But anyway, I'm here with Jeff, our resident professor of employee education.
That's quite the title.
Yeah.
Wow, does that fit on a card? On a business card?
Well, if you write real
Mine
small.
says old guy that teaches classes.
Okay. But anyway, we're here to finish up this Alice shoulder bag. And all we've got left to do is a little bit of lacing and put on the shoulder strap. So this could either be a real short session or a real long one, depending on how I do here. So I'm just going to start. You guys are going to have to help me fill in time with conversation. So,
Not everybody at once.
Yeah.
Denny, how many hours you got in that bag already?
I have no idea. Probably
Enough?
4 or 5, maybe 6 hours altogether. You know, when we do a video like this, I can't show the whole thing because we don't have time. And other than that, I do it in bits and pieces over at my own bench, among the other things that I do, which no one knows. In fact, Rusty used to say that. He'd say, and there's Denny doing whatever Denny does. But yeah, I guess realistically, I might have more than 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 or 8 hours. It's a full day's job at least. And a lot of it is cutting out the parts. And I guess if you consider tooling this isn't a real involved tooling project that I did on this. But if you were just doing the bag without the tooling, you could do it easily in a day, I think. What are you doing, Jeff?
I am double loop lacing just like you are. But I'm doing one of our field note journals, which I thought was in Harley Davidson orange and black, but Denny informed me it's Halloween. So it's a Halloween field note journal.
I like it.
And we've been doing these in class. The thing with double loop lacing is I get to watch a lot of people crash and burn at first. And then the light comes on and they figure out you go through the hole, you go through the X. You go through the hole, you go through the button.
Well, what other things do you teach the employees here, Jeff?
We've been doing a lot of different, some of it's as simple as how do you set a snap? Yeah, we have all sorts of employees that in doing their job end up talking to customers. And they may call the customer to say, we don't have the leather you want. And the person says, well, I have you on the phone. And it's very important for us to be able to answer questions like, which snap should I use for which thickness of leather?
And how do you set it?
And how do you set it? Yes. And so there's a wide range. I work a lot with the office and the gathering staff.
For someone who's already done that stuff and is familiar with it, it's sort of elementary. But if you've never done it, things like that are pretty involved. You can spend more time thinking about doing something like that than you do actually doing the project.
Well, when I started working here, I'd gotten out of doing leather work. And about 2 or 3 months into it, I bought a bunch of stuff. I don't even remember what I was going to make. I couldn't remember which part of the snap went with which part. I ended up having to go to my closet and look at one of my leather jackets to figure it out. Yeah, it can be kind of daunting to these people who have never done any leather work, but it's kind of neat to see people learning leather craft. And so many of our employees, they take to it and are really good. You've seen people that on their first or second time tooling are just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer, that he's done videos on lacing. Spencer did a video, or not a video, a class on the Mexican round braid. And I'm the one that kind of bombed on it. I've got to go to the remedial class.
Got to get back on that short bus, huh?
Yes. I wore my slip-ons. Would you call that bag an intermediate project over something a beginner would want to do?
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
You know, if we had a kit for this bag, it wouldn't be a big deal. But cutting out all the parts, you know, and there aren't a lot of parts to this, but I don't know. It's hard to say what's intermediate and what's a novice. Depends on how involved you want to get. You know, I guess if you consider intermediate to be a key fob,
You know,
this is a little bit more advanced.
I spent most of my career here out on the retail floor, and this social media thing and something called Instagram, we would have people walk in, never made anything out of leather, but they'd seen something on Instagram, and you get a phone put up in your face. This is what I want to make.
Yeah.
Tell me how to do it. And sometimes it's beyond our ability out there.
Well, most things, you can't teach people how to do most projects. You can show them how. They've got to learn themselves, and that's what they don't realize. They think when you ought to be able to tell them how to do something, and then they can go and do it. You know, and there's more involved in that.
I was very prone when I got back into it to buying very expensive leather and tools the wrong tools, and going home and promptly messing it up and having to start over.
Well, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing a project 2 or 3 times. You learn a lot that way, but it does get expensive sometimes.
Well, you learn the value of buying odd lot cheaper leathers for prototypes.
Well, when I make a pattern, a lot of times I'll have to do it a couple of times before it turns out decent. In fact, sometimes I never get it, but I always come a little bit closer every time I do something. I've got a spot here that I didn't realize I had. I must have gotten some oil on it or something, but you guys don't tell anyone. So Tony, what have you been doing lately? Have you been doing some referee work? Okay, that was a pretty productive conversation right there.
No, I haven't actually called in 3 weeks.
Well, what were you doing last week?
The Missouri Valley Conference tournament was in town,
Oh, the
so a
tournament?
lot of my friends were here, so I went over and set them up a TV so that they'd be able to stream the game and not have to sit outside in 90-degree heat. But I put a question up there for you, Denny.
Okay, Michael Seeger says, Denny, when you tape the back of a piece of leather for tooling, do you remove the tape once the tooling is finished or remove it once the leather has dried after the tooling is completed? Generally, I wait till it's dried. If you pull it apart while the leather is still wet, a lot of times you'll make the leather kind of stretch, and that's what you're trying to keep from when you put the tape on it. But there again, a lot of times I'll leave the tape on till after I put whatever finish I'm going to use on it, because that'll keep the back of it clean. And a lot of people don't like the tape. They say it leaves a sticky residue on the back of the leather. But I found if that does happen, it's usually because you've left the tape on for 2 or 3 weeks, and it kind of that stickiness just adheres to the leather. But you can use talcum powder, and that will, just powder the back of it, and that'll get rid of that stickiness.
Baby powder.
Yeah.
Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah. My wife won't use that, but she does use cornstarch a lot of times.
I was thinking cornmeal.
Well, you can use cornmeal. Make cornbread out of your project.
Sounds yummy.
It does, doesn't it? Got a cornmeal wallet here. Okay, I'm going to splice this. If I splice this, I ought to be able to finish the rest of it with this one last piece of lace. And I already have another piece of lace set up here. I'd forgotten about that.
I did mine in advance because I didn't want to be on video showing how long it takes me.
Well, I've made this piece plenty long. Longer than I generally would use it, but I don't want to splice one more time before I get done. So I'm just going to have to live with this. So I guess Clayton is going to be here Friday and next Wednesday.
You know more than I do.
That's what I've heard, and he's going to be doing a briefcase that he got a pattern for. And I may be wrong, but I think that'll be his last video, because
I don't think you're wrong.
I believe he's getting ready to leave us, go to greener pastures.
We're gonna send him out to pasture. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
We're taking him upstate.
he's done. Upstate, yeah.
We're gonna let him loose in
He's-
a nice neighborhood.
He's headed north. But I guess he told me he's going to be a boat engineer.
Somebody's got to make them float.
Yeah.
Well, look at all the time he can spend out on the lake
Yeah.
testing quality control.
Right.
And
Yeah.
well, I did it.
What did you do?
I was watching you and I twisted my lace.
Way to go, Jeff.
Yeah, the only engineering he's gonna do is make sure it has enough pole props up. What do they call those things where you can hold your pole?
Oh, yeah.
A pole
A
holder.
rod holder.
Rod
yeah.
holder.
Yeah. Actually, my wife's son works for the same outfit that he's going to go to work for, doing approximately the same thing. Only Clayton's going to be in Bolivar. Josh is here in town.
I thought you meant way north.
That's far enough north.
Upper Missouri, Michigan, or Bolivar's just kind of north Springfield anymore.
Yeah. And he lives in Fairgrove, so actually,
Which outfit did you say he's going to work for?
Bass Pro tracker boats, actually, I think, is what he said.
Were you working here yet when they gave Clayton a trial on retail?
No, I don't ever remember that, and I would have, I do believe. Didn't work out.
It wasn't a good fit for him. He lasted about a day and a half and went back to the shop and did what he does best.
And Clayton's really a fine craftsman.
We were talking the other day when I started, we didn't have a single in-house produced pattern. We purchased them all. And between you and Clayton, you look at the number of patterns that we have, and we're buying 4 patterns from somewhere else.
Really?
Yeah.
And we've made the rest of them, huh?
Yep. You and Clayton and others.
I didn't have any idea of the numbers that we still bought. You know, when I started, I thought that was my job, just make it where we don't have to buy patterns anymore.
What happened to that?
I don't know. It went the way of the buffalo.
Yeah.
No, I still make some patterns. Shoot, lately I've been involved with all those carve right patterns that I made 2 years ago, and now I'm having to redo them because I can't find all the originals.
How many more belts you got to do?
I think I've got 4
belts.
4 more belts to make. I just finished tooling one of them before we came in here today.
Yesterday afternoon, retail staff was putting up the brackets, and they're going to have those carve rights out on the sales floor.
Good.
I saw them this morning. They look good.
Because before, people would ask, and we'd have to take them in back. Where
Yeah, and if there's something like that, if you don't have it on display, it's hard to explain what we have. It's hard to catalog all that stuff, too.
it's hard to sell something when it's in the storeroom or the warehouse.
Yeah, I've always said when I go into a store, if it's not out on the floor, I figure they don't have it, and I'm not going to ask anyone about it.
Well, some stores, there's no one to ask.
What's that?
That's how you get lost.
I know. I'm lost a lot. Ask my wife. Ask Jeff.
If any of you see Denny wandering around, just grab his hand and take him back to his
Yeah.
bed.
Thank you.
Denny and I have gotten lost multiple times.
Yeah.
We were famous for talking and missing the turnoff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We used to fish almost every weekend together.
It was, yeah. We had friends and family that were wanting to do an intervention.
Sounds like friends in low places.
It was.
It was. Rockbridge is pretty low in the country. It's,
Didn't they talk about making a casino or something down there at one point?
I don't know. Glad they didn't.
Yeah.
You ever been down there, Tony?
Not on purpose.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, just
I got all Jeff tickled up there.
I've got a life full that ended up places that wasn't on purpose.
Yeah. Got a couple one comment and one question up there for you, Will.
Okay. Wondering if anyone might know if there's any sort of wrap for stamping tools that widen the grip and don't slip, or if there even is such a thing. Yes, I've seen them before. Actually, there was one guy that was turning them out of a piece of wood and putting a little set screw in there, but you had to buy 2 or 3 different sizes of them for the different size of tool shafts.
They've
And-
also got some rubber ones I've seen online. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Just look online. That's the only place that I could tell you because we don't stock anything like
You can
that.
get medical wrap as well. You know the stuff that they wrap tests.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can
Yeah.
wrap it around there. That might help. It might be a
Yeah.
cheaper option for you.
Yeah. If you're a horseman, they call it vet wrap.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sort of like rubberized gauze that sticks to itself.
Oh,
And this other one says, I just got the children's shoe pattern in. Going to make my daughter a pair of shoes out of every color suede. That's cool. That's cool. There's a lady that took my carving class the last 2 weeks. And when she first started, she said, the only reason I'm taking this class is because I want to make moccasins. And I said, well, we don't do anything like that in this class. And now all she wants to do is tool leather. But that's kind of cool. She still wants to make moccasins, she said.
I bought the stuff to make moccasins about 7 or 8 years ago.
And it's still sitting on your dining room table.
No, it's in the top of the closet.
I decide on mine.
You know, you can take a pattern and make moccasins, and it's not too bad. But if you try and hand fit a set of moccasins to yourself or to someone else, there's more to it than meets the eye. Because I've made several pair and never really been satisfied with what I've done. So I gave up. If you guys are going to do this purse pattern that I'm doing right now, let me get this needle through here and I want to show you something. Alright, I buck stitched this back part here, and on the original pattern I machine stitched it, and I did machine stitch these front 2 folded edges. And if I was doing it again, after I buck stitched this back part, I think I would have buck stitched this. I think it would have looked better. Not that it looks bad now, but I think it would have kind of gone with the motif a little more.
You need motif?
Motif, yes.
Motif.
Fall out?
Motif. Actually, last time I went to the dentist, I got motif.
That's a good one, dude.
And I think you'll agree, Denny, we're seeing more and more people getting back into double loop lacing and especially buck stitch.
Yeah, buck stitch is big right now. More so even than the double loop, I think.
Yeah.
But you know, stuff like this goes in pads. It goes in stages. It'll be this way for a while, and then they'll go to something else. But
We get a lot of people that want the angled thonging chisel to do buck stitching. And we have a kit or a 3-piece set of chisels that we sell. You just use a regular lacing chisel, don't you?
Liz and I discussed that last week. Yeah,
Okay, well-
I like a straight chisel as opposed to the angled chisel, simply because it gives you more of a diamond look to your let me see here. Where am I going? Yeah, you get more of a diamond shape to each
What if I do?
each stitch.
I'll switch it to that.
Yeah. But you can see that diamond shape, and if you have an angled, it gives you more of a square looking lace, and I guess if that's what you want, that's fine. But to me, a buck stitch needs that diamond look. closing in on the end here. And that gets scary, the very end of this. Because this front part here, I lace from the front side. What we're doing now, I'm lacing from the back side because that's going to be the side that's visible. But there's a transition because I'm lacing from this side here, and when I get over here, I'll be to the back. So, but it will be not very visible. That's in a not very visible section of this bag. So hopefully I can make it end and not look obnoxious.
Denny,
What?
Michael said I'm wanting to learn carving and stamping to start out. Do you have any suggestions?
Where is Michael at?
Probably at his computer or his phone.
If Michael will come here to this store on Saturday, I will teach him.
We got that beginner carving video that we did, and then we have an intermediate and advanced one.
Right.
It was before we were doing live videos, so.
Right. You know, and there was a guy that came to my class 2 weeks ago, and he had watched those videos.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him, I said, have you done much tooling? He said, well, just a little bit, not very much. And he was in the novice class.
How did he feel about the videos?
Well, after he started working, he was just doing stuff, you know, like he'd been doing it all his life. And I said, I thought you said you'd never done any. He said, well, I watched your video. So, yeah, he got something out of it.
Yeah. He looked like an old seasoned pro.
Well, pretty much, yeah. He knew how to do exactly what I was trying to teach him to do.
Yeah.
How's the journal going?
How's
Phil
what?
know? Well, I'm going to run into a problem here pretty soon.
Michael says he's in Louisiana.
We're out of orange lace, and I can't finish it until we get more orange. So I'll get her 3/4 done.
All right, Michael's in Louisiana.
We had someone drive up from Louisiana for your class.
4 different times.
Yes.
My tooling classes used to be 2 consecutive Saturdays each. And I had a lady from Louisiana that drove up here. She was just in northern Louisiana, but it was still like a 7 or 8 hour drive, I think.
The whole state of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Which is a different state of mind.
Yeah, Becky's like 15 miles from the Arkansas border.
Mm.
But she did that 4 different times. Her and her husband would drive up, and they would get a motel and spend the night, and then she would spend all day Saturday in the class.
Huh.
And he would shop and take naps out in the vehicle.
Yeah, he'd go to Bass Pro or whatever, and then they'd spend that night, and then the next day they'd drive back home. And the next weekend they did it all over again.
We had a foreign exchange student whenever I was in high school, and he was just so amazed at the fact that we would just road trip anywhere we went.
That is amazing to people who aren't used to something like that.
As a kid on Sundays, Dad would load everybody in the station wagon and we'd go for a drive.
Yeah, Sunday drive.
And there was no itinerary. It was just, oh, there's a road, and we'd turn down it. And we'd see another road, and we ended up all over the place.
That used to be common practice. I mean,
Well, that was entertainment. We didn't have cable or Xbox.
now I've got to make this transition here.
You ever hear of a book?
Boring.
But I thought it was a trick question at first.
Nope, I'm not going to make it.
We used to get out with my dad on Saturdays and go drive around. I've done it with my oldest daughter a few times. I pick it up feeding at the horse barn, and she's like, "Where are we going?" I was like, "I don't know." She's like, "Well, how do you know how to get there?" What
Well, I don't know where we're going, so.
My wife's philosophy is every road takes you exactly where you're going.
That's right. Wherever you're at, there you are. Yeah, we just pull up to a stop sign. I say left or right. She's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Pick one."
Jess and I used to do that. We used to play a game, and we tried to get lost and find our way back.
Yeah.
We think it was fun to put a blindfold over it and try and guess where we were.
Yeah, just don't put the blindfold over your eyes while you're driving.
Not the driver's eyes.
Yeah, not the driver's eyes.
The passenger.
We had family in Joplin, and every time we went down there, Dad would take a different way. So I got older, and I was supposed to drive down to Joplin and be there. I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know which way to take and couldn't remember.
Oh, no, now what?
Been there 1,000 times, but it was never the same road.
You knew which building it was.
I knew what the house looked like, but I had no idea to get there. It's gone now.
How did they fare during the tornado?
The house is gone, but all the family was no longer around that area.
So it got blown away in the tornado?
It did. Uh-huh.
Got family that lives outside of Harrison, Arkansas. There's still a lot of, it's easy to get to a dirt road there. And we just jump on those and drive. And my daughter's like, "Well, how old were you when you started driving?" I was like, "Well, I didn't have, there were times I didn't have a license, that I was just driving on the dirt roads." They do different things down in Arkansas.
Yep.
So we just jump in the car and drive.
You ever do that in the grass fields and do donuts when it snowed?
No, we just do it in the parking lots when it snowed. We didn't need to go out in the grass field. Why do that when you got a paved parking lot?
The only time I ever got hauled to the police station, speaking of snow on a parking lot, I was working in high school. I worked at a hamburger joint. I was a fry cook. Me and Jethro Bodine, we were both consumer fry cooks. But anyway, it was after work and it had been snowing cats and dogs. It was in Denver. And I was out there in my old 1956 Dodge. It was a dandy. And I was cutting cookies all over this empty parking lot. Cop pulled up out of nowhere, hauled me down to the police station, and I had to call my folks to come and get me. I thought that was a pretty crude thing for him to do.
Cool.
Cutting cookies in an empty parking lot. I hope that guy feels bad about it.
So mine was, there was a pumpkin field out of town, and they had picked all the good pumpkins out of there. So we figured they didn't want them, so we filled up the back of the pickup with pumpkins. And some of them were kind of squishy, and we didn't know what we were going to do with them. And we decided that we were going to go to the four-way stop in the little town I grew up in and make a pyramid out of them right out in the center, and then back up a ways and drive through them. Well, in the middle of making the pyramid, the police came up behind us, and I had to go to City Hall.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And it was one of those moments. My dad tried to act mad, but he had to keep turning his head away so I wouldn't see him laugh. And we had to clean up half-rotten pumpkins out of the middle of the street.
I was just telling these guys that the first apartment I had with Jen, we used to throw watermelons off the balcony.
I bet people love that.
There's going to be a lot of reading, but I'll come over and read it. for the subscribe.
All right.
Okay.
Just
Joe
said-
Slatton. I know old Joe. He took my class.
You want to read it or you want me to read it?
You can read it.
Okay. Well, I'll walk over here and read it to you.
Okay.
Because I got to scroll once I get far enough into it.
Okay.
So Joe says, speaking of carve right, we all make the occasional mistake in our projects, right? Here's the worst one. I cut my leather out. I cased it. Got out my carve right pattern and placed it on the leather and went over it really good with a tablespoon. Pulled the corner up to see how the pattern transferred and nothing. I replaced it and went over it again with a tablespoon with a little more vigor. Removed the pattern and absolutely nothing. Hang on, I gotta scroll.
I already know what happened, Joe.
Anticipation.
I got a pretty good idea of what
Yeah,
happened
I
as well.
think so too.
Sounds like something I'd do.
Then Joe says, it took me twice to realize that I had the carve right pattern upside down. I fear that the pattern is no longer usable. Live and learn. Yeah, I guess if you really got...
I would think you
Vigorous.
could still use it unless he rubbed the...
I guess it depends on how vigorous he got the second time around.
Yeah, Joe, it just depends on what you mean by vigorous.
Is that the right color orange? I'm not sure that's the right color orange.
I think it's a little brighter.
Nope, that's saddle tan.
Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Mama T.
I
Poor
told
Joe.
Terry said she was going to watch today, and I told her if I forgot anything, she needed to carry it back here. So she was listening.
SLC, the home of the outlaws.
Or at least we think so.
Right?
Somebody calling Denny and I outlaws.
Yeah.
Yeah, for our driving practices when we were in high school. Yeah, I was a bad dude.
You guys should bring in your high school yearbook.
Oh, no.
I don't know whatever happened to mine.
Andrea says she would move into Springfield Leather Company, but gets cold on Colorado. I don't know what that means. Central Missouri.
I mean, it gets cold here too, so no worries there.
I think she's from Ohio, but it also gets cold in Ohio.
I'll tell you what, I grew up in Colorado,
Uh-huh.
and there, when it's 32 degrees, you can go outside in a t-shirt and feel pretty good if the sun's out.
Mm-hmm.
Here, if it's 32 degrees, you better have a coat on.
Well, I mean, when I go up there and do...
It's the wind. I swear.
Yeah.
What do you think about this one, Jeff? Oh, wrong size.
Oh, that's 3:30 seconds.
Dadgummit.
If you're digging through the stuff in the classroom, I already have.
She will stop digging. Used to go, when we go snow skiing out in Colorado, I mean, I know you're doing an activity and you're putting a lot of effort into it, but most days we're out there and I'll have snow pants on, but we ski in t-shirt.
Yeah. When I lived in Craig,
Mhm.
Steamboat Springs,
Yep.
in that area for about 5 years before I went to Grand Junction. And I was building houses then. And it could snow a foot and get down to 0 and below, and we could go out there the next day and still frame houses. We'd build a fire to get our compressor started, just because it wouldn't run in that kind of weather. But we'd go up to a bunk of studs and just whack around on it with your hammer, and all the ice and stuff would just shatter and fall off. You had nice, clean, dry lumber. Because it was so cold, it wasn't wet. It was just ice that
Mm-hmm.
fell off.
This TV's all crooked, I can't see it. What do you think about this coloring pattern on this, Denny?
That's kind of cool,
Yeah.
actually. What is that? Oh, golf tees?
Yeah, it's like, I don't remember what Stacy called, like Tibetan marbling or something like that.
But he did it all himself. He hand painted it.
Yeah,
Wow.
Well, I don't know how he did it by hand, but I don't think it was like actually painting the stuff in there. I've been trying to get him in a video, so Jeff was in a video, what, 6 years ago, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jeff wasn't in a video 6 years ago. Jeff was in half a video 6 years ago.
Kevin got a phone call, and I looked at my phone, and it was noon, and I thought, well, I'm going to lunch. And I come back, and Kevin went and got Josh and finished the video. And that was a joke that I held the record for being the only SLC employee in half a video. And then we had a lady come in to the retail floor shopping once, and she said, "Did you get in trouble?" I just kind of looked at her, and she said, "They took you out of that video." I said,
No,
"No,
they didn't.
I absconded. I went AWOL." But I am going to start doing some videos with the newest member of marketing that is going to be simple little things that are linked to our website to where someone can find out how to use the edge beveler and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, we're working on some things with that, so we'll make those short little videos, and they'll be on YouTube, and there'll be a video tab, like you have the specifications and descriptions on there, and then if it's item specific, I'm trying to get it on the website where, you know, on Amazon where you got the pictures and you can click on it. It's got a little video that's also with the images there. I'm trying to get our website where we can do something like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I help the office out, and they get call after call on how do I do this? How do I do this? What should I use?
We got our education page on our website as well. It has some printed guides on there, but we'll be able to link those printed guides to some other helpful things.
I'm just seating this lace down now.
Yeah, take a seat, please.
You always got something smart to say, don't you?
First time I ever heard it said just ended with smart.
One and only.
We had Andrea, she's trying to figure out where she wants to move to. She said, maybe I'll just move next door to Liz. And I said, be very careful with that decision.
Yeah. Liz and neighbors are.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work out the best.
You'll have
She gets along real well with her neighbors until her neighbors can't get along anymore.
Then she really gets along.
Brenda asked who the sewing machine guru is at SLC. Ours is
Our
Jim.
Our educational professor is kind of guru.
I can sell them, but I can't fix them.
Jim is a good option.
Yes, Jim.
Sometimes Jesse. Depending on what it is.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on your question on who he's interested in.
Yeah.
Rusty's got some pretty good knowledge on machines.
He's got all the smarts.
Rusty's got some smarts. Some of them have to do with sewing machines.
Some of them.
That's
What
who I
happened? What do you
learned.
need?
That's who I learned
I
from.
better sit under this bag clasp.
Did you forget something, Denny?
Yes, I did, but I'm going to have to go get it.
You want me to go get it?
Well,
He won't come back.
yeah, no, I don't want you.
No, you can't leave either. We need Terry to bring something. What's Terry bringing?
Well, I don't know what I need. I need to go up there myself. I've got to cut a slot. I'll be right back.
Don't you leave.
I'll be back.
I will tell stories about you.
Do that.
You might be back, but Jeff might not be here when you get back.
He made it through a quarter of the video. He's got to work his way up.
We're three quarters of the way through the video.
I was going to say, if this is just a quarter of it, I may take a nap.
Well, Luna does under the table all the time.
They're talking about kids that get a hold of cell phones in one of the chats. Did you see that story? This
30 burgers.
Yeah, 31. The little boy had ordered on his mom's phone or DoorDash app 31 hamburgers from McDonald's and tipped him $16.
Oh my.
He got the tip in there. Got 31 hamburgers or cheeseburgers. I don't remember. Out of
The
3?
picture, he looked about 3 years
I think that's
old.
what I think he was 3
No.
and left a tip.
Well, he's a good kid.
That DoorDash driver drives up to the house with 3 bags. Be like, I'm here with your burgers? Pardon me?
Hello?
Yeah, you ordered 31 burgers.
But thanks for the tip.
Right?
Peace out.
I mean, hopefully she gave the driver a couple burgers for
Yeah.
if he or she wanted them.
That's so funny.
I had a former coworker, and he had a small son, and it was a similar situation, but he would order movies. And so the family were like, well, don't even really like the movie, but we gotta watch it now.
Yeah, Allison, she may have been 3. Well, she may have been 4. Somewhere in that range. And she ordered a movie on Amazon Prime. Now we have all purchases where you have to put in a security lock. And she doesn't know what it is. Because if she did, she would figure out how to put it in.
She's smart enough now, I bet she'd get it.
Oh, yeah. Yep. See, I'm all the way over here now. I can't read any of the chats. I have no idea what's going on over there.
You want me to go over there?
No, you're going to stay right there. Gonna stay right there.
No bail.
How are your employees' classes been going, Jeff? What kind of things do you teach the SLC employees?
Most recently, I've been spending a lot of time on retail because we have quite a few new people out there. And, you know, it's one thing to teach a person how to set a rivet, but retail staff are challenged because they need to learn how to sell a rivet, which is the best one. What's going to work for that situation.
You mean we can't just hire an employee that has leather knowledge in it?
No, I did.
In them?
I was a leather piddler when I was hired.
Right.
We didn't even talk about what I'd made.
Yeah.
Kevin recognized me. And I didn't know that much, but we were a lot smaller company back then. And Kevin and Rusty were on the retail floor all the time. And I quickly learned to be an eavesdropper. And that's where I got my education, especially on sewing machines.
Yeah. That's a great shot of the back of your head, Denny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I got a good back of my head.
Uh-huh. So they said it was cheeseburgers, and the boy was 2. And the mom shared them with the neighbors after giving the driver 2 or 3.
Oh, good.
And then Tim Barrett says that SLC needs a DoorDash app as a new revenue stream.
That's funny. We'll get right on that.
Then another Twitch Win says my son racked up $400 in game purchases on his grandpa's debit card before he was gone.
Probably croaked right there when he saw the bill.
How do we find the carve right pattern? Well, you go to the website, but the spelling of carve right is different than what you put. I'll get you a link. You go to the menu shop now, then go to books, carve rights, and more, and then click on carve rights. There you will find them.
Now connect the dots.
Yeah. I hope I have it in the right spot.
When my daughter ordered that movie, I don't remember what movie it was that she had ordered, but you can put on there that it was purchased incorrectly. So we did that and they accepted it. We were talking about ordering things on apps when they might not be exactly correct or what you ordered or somebody ordered it for you. Came up. Did you hear that story? I guess it popped up last night. Or this 2-year-old boy went in the DoorDash app on his mom's phone and bought 31 McDonald's cheeseburgers and left the driver a $16 tip.
Well, he's a considerate kid.
Yeah. His parents are teaching him well to be nice to those
Less fortunate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did he get in bad trouble?
I don't know. He probably had a stomachache after eating 31 cheeseburgers. Though.
Is that like when your parents catch you smoking, they make you smoke a whole pack?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he had to eat 31 cheeseburgers.
That poor little 2-year-old. You got a big old pot belly out there.
Right.
I'm sure he slept really good that night, though.
Oh, his stomach was full.
That or he threw up a
It's
lot.
Yeah, I watched. We watched a deal. It was called Super Size Me. I forget.
Yeah,
I've
we
seen
watched
that.
in high school.
On a guy who went for a full month and all he ate was McDonald's meals, whatever,
3 times a day.
3 times a day. Yep.
Yeah, and wasn't he like a health nut before he did
Yes.
that?
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
His
he
wife was a vegan chef, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did. I remember that.
because we had to watch that in school. I don't know why we had to watch that in health class, but we did.
To show how unhealthy it could possibly be.
I guess it was supposed to show the importance of a diet. I don't know.
Well, I think he went back off of it. I don't remember how much time it was when he got done with it. Dean was saying when he was 2 years old, he was busy eating worms, not McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Well, Dean.
Dean, are you where Chevy Guy is?
That's a bug eater.
Okay. Left side carry, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll put the buckle on the back of the left side. We're about done with this bag, you guys.
Really?
Good.
We'll only have one more left in our set of patterns, the classic handbag pattern. That
Mm-hmm.
we'll throw that up there. So, let's see. We started with the Lillian. Now we're on the Alice, and then we'll do the Annie.
Yeah.
Not next week, but the next week after that.
Yeah, the week after that.
What do you think working with that SB Foot oil pan leather, Denny?
With this leather that I'm
Yeah.
using, it's nice. It's
Yeah.
very nice. When I get done, you can see I've made a few marks here and there on the leather.
Can't see 'cause I don't have
When
my
we get
camera.
done, if I had some saddle soap,
You want to use this one? It's a can I stole from
that
you.
will be good. Yes.
I've heard that SB Foot, they make boots out of it. Comes from a company that makes boots out of it.
Well, it would make good boots.
Something with wings and something like that. Maybe a color of red around there.
Something like
I don't know. Maybe it's just Jeff's shirt that's red that makes me think of that.
that.
This is my $7 Bass Pro catalog outlet buy.
There's a lot of Bass Pro being thrown around in here today.
When's our sponsor gonna come?
Yeah.
Well, we are the second largest.
So, I don't know if you guys know this. You want to know how keen our marketing department is here, right?
Yes, I need to know.
So Bass Pro had, what was it, their 50th?
Yeah.
50th anniversary they had over there. So we did some Facebook ads to target people that had interests of Bass Pro and blah, blah, blah. So now we are self-proclaimed the second, what was it, the second best?
The
Second best tourist attraction in
Yeah,
Springfield, Missouri.
Self-proclaimed.
We didn't put that part in. We just put Springfield's second most visited tourist attraction.
I guess it depends on who you are, because we could be the first.
If you say it enough, it becomes true.
Hey man, we had a whole tour bus.
Oh, we did have a tour bus. Yeah, they came from New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
Denny, I can't see what you're doing.
Well, I can't either.
Oh, okay. Well,
Nobody's gonna see it.
yeah.
That's like driving with a blindfold on. Be careful.
Michelle says logged in and saw pink bags. Favorite color.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Talking about setting rivets.
I can get the rivets in there to set.
Tony, I haven't seen him in a while, but we had a customer that was from out of town.
Yeah.
And he'd come in to do his trifecta. He'd come see us, go to Bass Pro, and then go to Grizzly.
Oh.
And that was his trifecta.
You could make it a fourth if you just drove down to Ozark and went to Lambert's.
Yeah. That'd be a quadfecta.
The quadfecta.
4 Pete.
The 4 Pete. Dean says self-proclaimed says a lot.
It says a heck of a lot.
Yeah, we're humble here.
Real
Yeah, right.
Andrea says, "Are we gonna learn how to do that yellow and black and white wallet? If we can get Stacy to."
Oh, yeah.
I told him he was gonna do it, and then he went home.
Silly goose. He had to go get all of his stuff.
Oh, and then he just didn't come back.
It's just taking him a real long time to gather it up.
Charles, there is no more PFI Western store. Well, I guess actually it is PFI still.
It's Cavender's PFI now.
Or is it PFI by Cavender's?
Cavender's was that Greek seasoning.
It is. That's made out on Gaither Mountain. Well, the guy that owned lived out actually next door to my grandma, my dad's mom, when she was still alive.
Huh.
Their farm was right next to theirs. That's what I was thought for the longest time. They're like, "Hey, you want to go to Cavender's?" And I was like, "Go see where they have a bunch of seasonings." They're like, "No, it's a Western store." And I was like, "No, it's not." You wrong.
You are. I was literally just about to say that. Great, run, take away.
All right.
Brenda said, "You just described my weekend." Bass Pro, SLC, Grizzlies, and Lamberts. Oh, man.
Look at what the saddle soap does for this, you guys.
Ozarkian adventure.
We could go into the tour business
We could.
and
I mean, we do enough of
buy
it.
an old school bus and paint it in SLC colors.
Blue and yellow. We'll just take a Denny and Jeff show on the road. Where's the first stop?
Rockbridge. So Denny and I used to go to Rockbridge, and they charge you a fishing fee. But if you come back the next month, they don't charge you that.
Yeah, within 30 days.
Within 30 days. So Denny and I fished at least once a month for a solid year at Rockbridge, just so we wouldn't have to pay their fishing fee. We fished in, what was that, March, when we had the snowstorm?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nothing stopped us.
Yeah, we fished with the snowflakes falling the size of goose feathers.
That's why family was concerned.
Did you put your little thing on crooked, Dean, so they see something crooked?
What's crooked? My little thing? That's as straight as you can get.
Dean needs to tilt his head the other way. He's too busy looking at zippers.
Dean, don't look at things that close.
Close your eyes, Dean. It'll be better.
Depends how you're looking at it.
There you go, Dean.
Let's look at it like that. Now it's straight, right?
I mean, kind of. That's kind of hard when you put a straight line there and you have to put another straight line next to it. Does that have any adjustments in it? Where you could loosen it up and turn it one way or another? No, this thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you cranked her
I
down
could-
there. You He-Manned it on there.
I could tweak it, but I'm not going to.
You
right
could waller
now.
it out a little bit.
I could waller it out a little bit.
Yeah. We're 66% of the way done of that pattern pack.
Yes, we are. We are, and the next one might be the hardest one. Why did I do that?
I don't think you did it. I think I had made the suggestion.
Yeah.
It's all your fault, Tony Flash.
But it looks Oh no, it's got.
The next one we lack a piece of hardware. That hardware right there.
The hardware is that.
But I can
manipulate something else.
retrofit something.
Retrofit.
Yes. I hope.
So all of these have. Could you do these without lacing and just stitch them up
Sure.
the same way? Yeah.
Sure. You could. It would be. You would probably have to hand stitch the bottom.
Does it make it less classic? Speaking of a classic, you can come on in here.
We're in
Hello.
the middle of doing something
Hello.
semi-important here. This is Denny, our master leather crafter.
Hello.
This is Jeff, our old person, resident old person. Tony, he
I does things.
So they're making
Well, I'm a
video.
frequent watcher, so
We just finished this handbag. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
just finished it up.
Wow.
beautiful.
Are you guys still live?
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are. You're live too.
Oh boy.
Everybody's
Whether you want to be or not.
They can't see you because the camera's not turned toward you. But
Okay, good,
I can
good.
fix that.
No, that's all good.
Everybody's got Indian motorcycle stuff on.
Yes, we do. We're
Why
on
is that?
We're here for an Indian motorcycle rally that's been going on for 20 years down in Branson.
Oh,
Really?
nice.
Wow.
And,
Nice.
A few of us are leather crafters, and so we stop here every time we come.
Very cool.
I'm from Florida and from some other places around.
Now, did you ride your motorcycle up here from Florida?
No,
I rode mine from St. Louis.
Did you really?
Did you trailer yours up here from
I
Florida?
did trailer.
Yeah.
It's my wife. I shouldn't say that. Yes, we trailered.
You don't have to blame it on her. You can. Just don't watch it later.
Yeah. When is this going to air? Oh, this is already aired.
Yeah, it's live
Yeah,
right now.
this is live.
I'll probably watch it later. When
She's
I
a
get
great
home.
lady. She's had a great drive up here. She loves seeing the motorcycle on the trailer.
Oh yeah, she loves the motorcycle on the trailer better than anything.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
thanks
where
for
we
coming
do
in,
all
guys.
videos.
Wow, this is smaller than I expected.
Yeah, I know.
That's what
We're
most
trying
people
to
say.
get-
Everybody says that.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm trying to talk Kevin into getting me a bigger studio, but he just keeps shaking his
It
head.
hasn't worked so far.
I think it's pretty cool that
Probably
they have
not.
on air on the
Yeah.
outside.
We'll see you guys. Have fun down there.
Thank you.
Well, I'm done, you guys. Now that we've had visitors.
I'm done too because I'm out of lace until we get another shipment in.
Okay.
What is the strongest, Carrie Turgeon asked, the strongest magnet class that you carry at SLC? I mean, I think I'd get a rare earth magnet and just make my own clasp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the strongest.
Yeah, all the magnetic clasps that we carry are pretty well the same as far as strength goes. But they all work pretty well. You know, I don't know what it is you're trying to clasp.
I don't either. I didn't get that much information. More questions need to be asked. And Charles said, Jeff, everything's always my fault. Now we're all talking. There's 2 or 3 people that have Indian motorcycles on there. Well, tomorrow, Liz will be back from her great adventure to the NYC.
She's going to bring Jacob back, who's a former employee.
Yep.
And he could have used some of Jeff's educational.
Don't wish that on me. I remember Jacob.
Jacob is a big, tall guy, just a nice guy. But we always have a booth at Farm Fest, which is a big farm. What would you call it? A trade show, I guess.
Yeah, they got
Similar to
tractors
that.
and just
Yeah.
different things, rakes and
But
feeds.
But our
Seeds.
booth has always been a 10 by 12. I think it was 10 by 12.
Yeah, last year we finally got a
Yeah.
double booth.
But one year we took a sewing machine,
Oh boy.
and Liz and me, and then Jacob showed up in a 10 by 12 thing with all sorts of everything that we owned in the store was there on shelves in the floor and hanging from things. And Jacob was there right in the middle of all of it. So you could not turn around.
We had that single booth a couple years ago. The first time Stacy went with Liz. I mean, so both of those are
Yeah.
normal sized,
Yeah.
not tall by any
Yeah.
stretch of the imagination.
There's not a lot of extra room.
But they brought a Glowforge.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was an adventure all in itself.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow we'll do live shopping What's the best adhesive to use on leather? Depends on what you're gluing up and what the leather is.
If you're asking me, contact cement. I use that on virtually everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
So live shopping tomorrow, and then Friday. Are we starting with Clayton on Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
Clayton going to
Starting
be
a
there Friday and probably Wednesday.
A briefcase bag. Is it the one that we have a pattern, or are we making a pattern for it?
I'm not sure.
Good call.
It's out there. He's got a finished product out there, and it looks really, really good.
Good.
Like I said, Clayton is a fine craftsman.
I hope he made instructions for it.
And he probably got his clasp on straight, too.
Well, we can fix that right quick for him.
Yeah, we can make it crooked.
Yeah, I can screw anything up. All right, anything else that you would like to impart on the people? Jeff, you've made it through a whole video. Do you know you've been here for 1 hour and 7 minutes?
I wrecked my record. But that's all right.
Yeah, but now that you're here,
You're part of the team now.
You're kind of hooked in.
Kind of hooked. All right.
You're going to have to come back on occasion.
I'll be back when we get more orange lace in.
All right, if you want to see more, we'll be over on Twitch for the after party.
All
Have a
right.
good rest of the week.
Thanks, you guys.
See ya.